I know we were talking about the weather and how some of us, if not all of us, have snow, which is very unusual, I feel like, for October. And this is the Rise AmeriCorps orientation, the member orientation. Um, so we're going to just tell you real quick the agenda. And for today, we will be starting off with an introduction from some of Embark staff. And then afterwards, we'll have a little breakout session and you'll get to know your member coordinator. And after that, there's this awesome video we'd like to share about AmeriCorps. We're so fortunate enough to have some former RISE member come and just talk about their experience. That'll happen a little later. And then shortly after that, we'll get into the nitty gritty about what an MSA is and Canvas introduction and next steps. So I'll go ahead and start with introduction. My name is Elize Dishimimana, and I am a member support coordinator here in the Eastern Iowa, which is Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. Those are the members who are going to be placed there. I will be their member support coordinator. Fun fact, I actually just finished my RISE term last month. So I was just like you, not even a month ago. So it is so awesome to be able to be in this new role with Embark and better assist you with whatever it is that you may have for me. I came to America when I was really young. So I too am from the community and I really love this program and everything that it's about. So thank you so much.
I'll go next. My name is Mallory. I am the RISE program's education manager, which means I focus on member and supervisor training development and curriculum and support for host sites. I also oversee some of our different community-based programs in Des Moines for clients, and also some of our workforce readiness programs and program evaluation. I'm really excited to get to know all of you. This is my 5th year working with Embark, and a fun fact is I was actually part of the first AmeriCorps cohort for the Refugee Rise program. So I've been with this program for a really long time, and it's just been really cool to get to see how it's grown and evolved over the years, and now to see all of you start your terms with us.
I'll go next. Hello, everyone. My name is Grace. My full name is Grace T, but you can just call me Grace. I am currently a member support coordinator for RISE and also a RISE program coordinator. But I used to work with Embark as a health navigator and also walk ready navigator. And currently, I am a member support coordinator, and I have been with Embark total about 3 years now. Yeah, and as a member support coordinator with RISE, it's nearly about a year. Thank you.
All right, can you guys hear me? All right, awesome. So my name is Cesar, and I'm also member support coordinator with RISE. I'm over here in the Waterloo, Cedar Falls area. So I'll be working with Bridge of Storm Lake, City of Columbus Junction, Dream Iowa, Latinx Coalition, Oak Ridge, and Embark Waterloo. And yeah, I just started about 2.5 weeks ago, and I absolutely love it. I love everything about it. So it's been great, and I cannot wait to get to know you guys. And yeah, so from here, we're gonna break into small groups and just have a nice breaker and get to know each other a little bit better.
Hello.
So what's gonna happen is that we're gonna be broken up into breakout sessions. Is that correct, Mallory?
Yeah.
And then you'll get to know your member support coordinator, and we'll be breaking people into groups with who their member support coordinator is. Like Cesar said, all those people all those sites that he listed will be in that breakout session. And we'll be meeting back around 2, I believe.
Mhm.
So happy meeting.
I'm gonna assign you all to your groups. Sorry. Brianna, can you tell me, or Brianna, what your host site is?
It says Mary Treglio.
Okay. I've sent you to your group. How about Lana?
Art Force.
Art first. Okay. And then Kelly. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Refugee Rise,
Do you know what organization you're with?
Embark, Hoover Elementary.
Hoover Elementary. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll send you where you need to go. Okay. Is it Ali? Ali?
Yeah, I'm with Des Moines, Iowa Oak Ridge,
Oak Ridge? Okay.
Refugee Rise.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Shell? SHEL? You know where you're at? Which host site?
Air Force, Iowa.
Our Force? Okay, thank you. All right, and then the iPhones. What host sites are you at? You're on your phone right now? If you just want to unmute, let me know which host site you're all at. Can you hear me? Francois, am I saying it right? Francois? You're muted, I can't hear you.
Okay. Francoise.
Francois?
Mm-hmm.
What host site are you at?
I am at Catherine Makori, Cedar Rapids.
Awesome. I sent you there. Okay, I think everyone's back. Just a reminder, if you haven't yet, please make sure to put your name and host site in the chat box because that's how we're taking attendance. So you will not be marked as having attended this training if you don't put your name and host site in the chat box. And Grace, hand it over to you.
So we're gonna take a quick couple minutes to watch the what is AmeriCorps. I cannot click on the video for somehow.
So you have questions about AmeriCorps? Well, you've come to the right place because we're here to help. First off, let's clear up one thing right away. You might be wondering how to say or spell AmeriCorps. Sometimes people pronounce the P, but don't make that same mistake. AmeriCorps is alive and well, just spelled with a silent P. So think of Apple Core or Core of the Earth. Now that we have that clear, what exactly is AmeriCorps anyways? AmeriCorps is simply Americans of all ages and backgrounds dedicating their time and skills to get things done. There we go. So how does AmeriCorps get things done? More than 80,000 Americans across the country join AmeriCorps each year, and all of them are tackling different problems in different ways. For example, AmeriCorps members help families attain affordable homes. They mentor students so that they stay in school. Perhaps there is a tornado, a flood, a forest fire, or a hurricane. AmeriCorps members also help communities recover from disasters. There's so many more things that AmeriCorps members do, but if we said it all, we'd be here all day. Why do we call them members, you ask? AmeriCorps members spend anywhere from 3 months to a year dedicating their time and skills to serve. They can volunteer with nonprofits, schools, public agencies, and community and faith-based organizations. And in case you were wondering, there are a few perks AmeriCorps members get, including money to pay for college, student loan deferment, training, living allowance, health benefits, and job opportunities with leading employers. Not too bad, right? All right. What's the purpose of AmeriCorps? Like the military or the Peace Corps, AmeriCorps is a way to serve your country. AmeriCorps members make Americans safer, stronger, and healthier, and they strengthen our communities. But above all, AmeriCorps members get things done. That's it. That's what AmeriCorps is. Learn more about AmeriCorps at americorps.gov.
Okay, it's time for our alumni panel. Cesar, hand it over to you. Do we have all of our panelists here? See Winton, Zach, are you here?
Oh, sorry, I had my microphone off.
There you go.
Hey, so it looks like we have Winton over there in the bottom and Zach as well. So who wants to go first? Winton, do you want to start? Or let me see. Or Zach, do you want to start?
Winton,
Sure.
I think you're muted. Yeah, Zach, go ahead.
Is he speaking? No, if he's speaking, go ahead, my friend.
All right. And for, so could you share or say a fun fact, share your name and say a fun fact about yourself?
All right, my name is Zach. Zacharias is the full name, but I think I go by Zach Balcha. And I'm with Embark. So, fun fact, huh? Fun fact. I love playing keyboard. Keyboard is my everything. So yeah, I'm not funny guy, but what makes it fun to me is just keyboard, playing keyboard.
All right. And then would you like to tell us like why you joined Rise AmeriCorps program?
Sure. I joined Rise AmeriCorps program because there are a lot of things that attracted me, even when I first started. Uh, it is, in general, it is giving back to the community. So I heard about it more. The more I heard, the more I searched, I find out that it is just serving the community, opening doors for the community. It is just giving them the directions where the community needs to be. There are a lot of things in the area that we can use it as a refugee community or immigrant communities. So they don't know the resources, we say. And if you invest on that, if you search around the area and find out and connect people, that is amazing. And then when I heard this, I'm like, you know what, this is what I want it to be. This is where my heart is. So I just wanted to give it back to the community. So I decided to uh, join Rise America program to support, to open doors to the people who are sitting there next to the opportunity, but not knowing that what is next to them.
All right, awesome. And what would you say was like the biggest lesson that you learned from the Rise program and your favorite part of being a member?
So both in general, my favorite part is that it always opens door. While I'm thinking to serve the community, it opens door for me. It connects me with a lot of leaders. It helps me to stand up and speak up for my rights. So I developed a lot of things. So what I've learned is that public speaking, how to speak up in the public, how to prepare myself in elevator speech. What is elevator speech? How do I use the time that I have to address the things that I wanted to address? And then, like we went to the Capitol so many times. We met a lot of presidential candidates, not just as someone who have right to vote or something, but you always have chance to go through a lot of trainings, and it was just in general opening door for me to see what was hard for me to see. For example, if I could have worked in somewhere else, or if I say I don't have a lot of people who work in this area, and then if I work in some different companies, maybe I might not be able to learn what I have learned, or I might not be able to be where I am today. So it has in general opened a lot of doors to me and connects me with a lot of great leaders. I learned from those great leaders how to lead as well. So I
Right.
learned leadership in general.
Awesome. What would you say was your biggest challenge as a Rise member?
Yeah, assumption is the biggest challenge I had was assumption. I just was like, what am I supposed to do? Okay, you know what? The supervisor is going to come and tell me, so I'm going to do this and that. So I just wait. I'm like, but later on, what I find out is that it is up to you. You have to stand up and then say something. If your supervisor is not around, and instead of waiting for him, what can I find out? What is the things that I can do? What can I contribute? Instead of always thinking of what I can contribute, I always keep waiting. So it was like the supervisor is in here. I don't know what to do. I just keep waiting. So now it makes me feel like I wasted a lot of time back then, and in the stage where I am now, I understand that I should have asked questions, right? I am here to learn. Experience was not expected from me. They are here to train me. They're here to guide me. But I was like thinking different way. But now I knew that the biggest challenge I had was not asking question, not putting a lot of inputs that I had. I just keep waiting instead of giving. So even if I am not a leader at that time, I could have, give up. I could have say, hey, until you are back, I'm just working on this. Document everything that I am doing. I'm just working on this. What do you think? If I have a minute or 1 hour sitting instead of waiting, could have search something, write it down, send it to them like, hey, I was thinking of this. I didn't know what to do, but I think this would be helpful. What do you think? So if you communicate, you can grow a lot. So that was the biggest challenge for me that I learned after.
All right. And then what advice would you give to current members? And also, what was your next step after completing the AmeriCorps program?
My advice is that, you know, there is nothing impossible. If you put your mind into it, there is nothing impossible that, as you were receiving in the training, AmeriCorps members get things done, right? Not just only following the rules, not just only waiting for your supervisor. At the same time, I always say that when you're eating food, you're not just eating for yourself, right? You're eating for the entire community that you're serving. Because if you don't eat food, right, you might not have energy to stand up, read, and go back into the community and serve. So you have to eat healthy food and then serve the community. If you didn't eat healthy food, you will not have that energy, right? So the same thing like that. You always are welcome. You always should focus and then think of what you can contribute and then write it down, communicate with them, ask questions. Don't be afraid of asking questions. If I don't understand, don't assume like you are the only one who didn't understand the topic. Don't assume like you are, maybe if you ask question, people would think like, oh, this guy asks so much question. He's dumb. I'm like, I feel like they are going to say something about me. So I used to keep myself down and I never asked a lot of questions. So you know what? Open up. This is opportunity for you to learn and then be a leader. So since you are willing to serve your community, since you have the desire, please open up and then challenge yourself. Don't go easy way. Don't choose easy way. Challenge yourself and it's always ask questions like, what can I do next? Even if they say we are going to do this next time, if you have time, get it done, go to the next level.
All right, awesome. Well, and yeah, and then what was your next step after completing AmeriCorps?
Yep, well, after AmeriCorps, I wanted to continue serving the community still. So I was offered a position with Embark staff member, and then it's always my passion to serve the community, and then my mind is in there. I used to work before I started with Refugee Rights AmeriCorps. I used to work with LSI with different companies, so I used to work as a caseworker, in which when people came from refugee camp first time, you get them from the airport, you give them their first house, you find them their first job and stuff like that. So when I was serving that, it was good experience too, but to me it was not enough because um, you serve people who are under 90 days. If you come here as a refugee, you understand what I'm saying. If you're not, then you have only 90 days to have a caseworker to work with you. They will still help you after 90 days. I used to help, but still, you have to prioritize people who are under 90 days. So when I see that, I wanted to help people who are um, here and then still can't speak English. If you work with the community refugee, or immigrants community, there are people who have been here over 5 years and they can't still speak English because of the job that they are doing. Right, it is hard job and they don't have time to learn, they don't have time to do this and that. So for me, it was important to stay connected with those people who are here under 5 years or under 10 years and then cannot access. Once they have a job, they feel like there is no another option and stuff like that. So for those people, I wanted to be here for them. I wanted to stand up and say, I am here, I can help. So when I was offered the position, it was just dream come true for me because that is what I wanted to do. And then I just continue serving, and that is my plan. As long as I'm here, I wanted to open doors for refugees and immigrant communities, so that way they can, you know, walk through it, work as they work hard and survive. Plan. And no refugee is here to have a better life. To be honest with you all, have first experienced, especially the parents. They are here to give better life for their kids, and those need our support. We need to say, I am here for you and stuff like that. So that is my plan. And then I'm dreaming the life. I'm living the
Awesome.
dream, sorry.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for sharing, and we really appreciate you coming. And yeah, Nayeli or Winton, who wants to go next?
I can go.
All right,
Okay.
awesome.
Okay.
So if you could introduce yourself and tell us a fun fact about yourself.
My name is Nayeli Hurtado. I'm the Línea de Ayuda coordinator, and I have 2 dogs, but I guess I live with three dogs. One of them is my brother's.
All right, awesome. And why did you join the Rise AmeriCorps program? And then also, what did you learn or gain from the program?
So I joined the AmeriCorps program because I saw it over the summer. It was just after I had been laid off from my job. So I wanted to try something new, and it worked out because it was remote. I really liked it because it was a response to the pandemic. So at the time, I had been seeing that a lot of people in my community were struggling with COVID related struggles. So I saw it as a way to work with the Latinx community and people struggling with pandemic related issues.
All right. And what would you say was your favorite part of the program?
I really liked working with the team. It was a lot of people kind of with similar experiences, but with very different interests. So it was really interesting to learn from them and work with them. And I really enjoyed working with Embark and the Office of Latino Affairs. I think they really help you to connect with just different organizations and people in the community. And I also really liked working with the community.
All right, awesome. What would you say was your biggest challenge as a Rise member?
I think the biggest challenge was just the delivering help for different needs. We end up working with a lot of people that are undocumented, so it really takes a lot of creativity to help them and find resources to help them. Um, and sometimes people end up needing a lot of help in a lot of different areas, so you don't know exactly where to start. So I think just learning how to do that and the process of um, finding the resources or asking for help was a big challenge.
All right. And then if you had one advice to give a current member, what would it be?
I guess the advice I would give, make sure that you also tie it to your own interests, whether that's like what you see as the professional outcome you want or your major. Connecting it to what you want to do in the future will make it more beneficial for you and more enjoyable. So making sure you talk to your supervisor or to Embark or people involved in the program to tie that to what you want to do in the future. There was a lot of people that maybe were more interested in media. So there's definitely opportunities for you to be more involved with the media section of the program, or tying it to, like, if you're interested in um, something related to food or sustainability, there's resources around that that you can work with or focus on. So just making sure to communicate that is important.
All right. And what was your next step after completing the AmeriCorps?
So I actually ended up getting a position with Embark as the coordinator for the program. I really like it. I work more closely with Sonia, who is a very important leader in the Latinx community. So I'm learning a lot with her and with Embark. I think that it's a very good position to grow professionally, and yeah, that was basically my next step.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much for sharing and for coming. And yeah, we have also Winton. Would you like to share, well, your name and fun fact about you?
Yeah. Hey, Cesar. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on today. Yeah, so my name is Winton Karanja. Fun fact, I guess I have houseplants that I live with. So I take care of them. But yeah, I'll say that's a fun fact.
Alrighty. And would you let us know why you joined the Rise AmeriCorps program?
Yeah, so I joined Rise partly because I kind of I knew like some of the important people that had helped establish the Waterloo office, and kind of their history being Rise members themselves, and so I knew there was really good work to do, and I was living in Waterloo at the time, so I thought it was just a really good fit. So yeah, I joined Rise last year.
All right, awesome. And what's like the biggest lesson that you learned from the Rise program?
Biggest lesson that I've learned, oh man, I would say, you know, I like with doing an AmeriCorps term, you know, it's not the greatest pay, and it's not, you know, it's not you definitely won't be able to buy a house with an AmeriCorps income, but I would say for me, with some of those limitations and not having a car, which I know, Cesar, you can understand, I was worried that I wouldn't be as accessible to my team and, you know, to do my job well, but using my, you know, advice from my supervisors, and relying on my team to, you know, be in places at important times, and not being left behind was really helpful. But it was a challenge for sure.
All right. And what would you say was your favorite part about being a Rise member?
Favorite part about being a Rise member? Oh, so many things. Working with high school students was really awesome last year in person. And of course, helping, you know, the communities that were affected by the derecho in Cedar Rapids, getting to see that impact directly, whether it was moving someone out of their house or being able to communicate with them like in my language, and just being able to support people. That was really cool. That was a highlight for sure.
Yeah. And then you kind of talked about this, but what challenges and how did you overcome them while you were a Rise member?
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't have a car when I was a Rise member, but you know, so it was kind of tricky being able to go to meetings in person. But yeah, it's relying on my team when I needed to get a ride, literally just asking for a ride. But some of the other things too, like yeah, just being able to be accessible was a challenge, but overcoming them, I would say, yeah, just relying on my team.
All right. And then what advice would you give to a current Rise member?
I would say just be kind to yourself, be good to yourselves. You're doing hard work, and in a way you are sacrificing, you know, not making a lot of money, but to do really, really good work, really important work. So yeah, be good to yourselves, and yeah, like Zach said and Nayeli said, make opportunities where you can to grow professionally as well. Yeah.
All right. And then what was your next step after completing the AmeriCorps program?
So I like Naeli and Zach accepted a position as a staff member with Embark. So I started last month, and I'm really excited to support our youth programs and to help out the new RISE members that will start next month for our site. So yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for coming and thanks for sharing. Yeah. And yeah, we appreciate you having you in the team as well. So
yeah, thanks for having me.
And we do have, like, we ended a good 5 minutes early. If anybody has any questions for our panelists, we can put them on the spot. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. These are 3 people that are great examples of individuals that were very successful as AmeriCorps members and had a lot of diverse experiences. So any questions?
I have a question. Is there anything you guys would do differently? I guess it can be a question for anyone. During your time as a RISE member, is there anything you would have done differently?
To me, I think mentioned it for that question. To me personally, yeah, I could have been more, engaged and prepared and set my goals. And what do I take away from this? If you set your goals and, not just as a job only, not just focusing on serving the community, but setting your own goal. And then like, I really wanted to learn from here, this part. As Natalie said earlier, with this pandemic, we have responded a lot of different ways with the derecho, with the Winton, Elise, everyone. We went there. We were like almost Red Cross and name it, the UNHCR. And then like we have this experience that we built how to create, a coalition team and stuff like that. So, and instead of just thinking of only serving, if you set a goal for yourself, what do you really want, where is your mind at, what do you want it to do after AmeriCorps? If you already said it, and then there is different kind of programs, and then you can look into it and then, wow, I'm serving and this is what I really want, and then I wanted to focus on this one. And then you can talk to your supervisor, and they can work with you because they really wanted to help you to build professionally. So I was just serving, so I could have done. So I'm again, for you, if you have a goal already set it, great. If not, think of yourself too after AmeriCorps, what you really wanted to do, and then what can you take away. This is a college in short period of time. If you ask different people, you can go to college, universities, and then if you wanted to study about culture, different cultures, this is it. This is the place. This is the home. If you wanted to study about a lot of different things, in short, in order to save time to my friends, this is the place where you can be whatever you want it to be. So, open up, plan for yourself.
Sorry, I see a question in the chat.
Yep. The other question is what was it? What's your favorite memory from your year in service? And this one goes to any of you 3 guys.
I'll go.
I can talk about, I can mention Elise's question earlier. Yeah, I agree with Zach. I think first of all, I didn't know that a portion of my hours could go towards training for a personal goal, or maybe that's new this year. But so I was kind of salty about that. So that's how I would do that differently. I would commit more time to a personal goal, right? That would also like align with like what I was doing at Embark. To go that way.
All right.
My favorite is going to the capital or the Refugee Day, and meeting all these representatives, senators, and then asking them questions. It was the whole day program. It was great memory. I still have it here. So there is opportunity that you can meet different people and then like speaking up in different symposiums. I think 2, 3 different symposiums. I was scared, but you know, I gained good experience, and yeah, there is a lot. If you keep asking me, it would take whole day. Masoka is looking at me.
Right. And then let's see. Could Nayeli, do you have a favorite memory from last year of service?
Um, I guess not. It's not really a favorite memory, but I did really like. Um, I think when we had our meetings as, like the team meetings that we were able to talk about like real world things that were happening, which I think is very important because a lot of people are impacted by things that are happening in the news, whether that's talking about the derecho that happened or how like things that are happening with DACA or TPS holders, and also with like Black Lives Matter. I think it was good to know that there was like it was good to hear their opinions on what was going on, but also you get to meet people that are actually working in coalitions or in civil rights actions, and knowing that that work is being done is really nice, and also how you can get involved. I was in a meeting with a person from an organization that was working primarily with helping undocumented people hear about ICE related activity. And they were also coordinating action with the Black Lives Matter movement in Des Moines. So I think that was my favorite part about, because I really care about like civil rights and just protests and stuff like that. It was nice to know that there was work being done and how to be a part of it.
Good. Well, thank you very much. And I'll pass this down to Mallory. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much to our panelists for joining us. I'm actually going to go ahead and give you all a 4-minute break. So we'll come back at 2:35. The second half of this training is really important. It's where we are going to go over all of your paperwork that and all the different rules and things you need to know in order to start your term and be successful with your AmeriCorps term. So please come back in 4 minutes, but get a drink, go to the bathroom, get a snack, and we'll see you all at 2:35. Thank you.
Hey, Mallory, is it safe to say that our panelists are free to go?
Yes, definitely. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Zach should not leave.
Masoka, it is a break time, so yeah, you can chat. How are you, Masoka?
Wow, Zach. For real. Damn, boy, you bad.
Oh. Mallory, it's break time. Can you stop recording?
I can't. We'll all be videoed and used against you, so be careful.
All right, there you go, Masoka. That's a warning to you.
All right.
Good to see you all.
Just call me sometimes this week. I'm available tomorrow.
Will do.
All right. Well, nice seeing you, Zach.
Nice to see you too. Are you sharing? Are you leading? Since this is break time, you know, you have good experience asking questions.
Now.
Things that you already know. You gotta be leading. You gotta be like, oh, this is what I experienced. Like sometimes you don't have to ask a question that you don't know the answer. Even if you know the answer is very important, then you ask that question so that way others can benefit from it, right? Everyone should do that so that way, you know, that you can gain. this is the time. I know there is a lot of trainings. It might be very hard, but at the same time, asking questions. Give Mallory a little hard time. You know?
I'm gonna let her go easy today.
All right, if you say so.
It was nice to see you, Zach.
Good to see you all. Welcome aboard, and see you next time.
All right, see you.
All right, Winton, bye.
Okay, it is 2:35. Everyone should be coming back to their computers. Once you are back, I want you all to go to your email address. You should have received an email that says DocuSign. It'll be from Ellen. So everybody go ahead and find this email, or your host site supervisor should have printed a packet for you that says member service agreement on it. So if you can go ahead and find this, if you already filled this out, that's fine. But if you haven't, go ahead and click review document. And click allow, check this box, and go over and click continue. So everyone, I want you to put in the chat box, if you have your member service agreement, just let me know you have it. If you've done it, just let me know in the chat box. I'm gonna wait till everyone has their agreement pulled up. So please let me know once you found it.
Could you say again, so after I've pulled it up and hit agree, what am I exactly supposed to do?
You can just wait.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, but I can't find it. So.
Alize, can you email Ellen and let her know that Laura doesn't have hers?
Sure.
Going on there. Is there anyone else that doesn't have an MSA?
Yes, Mary, can you email me to Euphrasie?
Okay.
I can't see it.
Euphrasie, you did yours before.
Oh, that's the one?
Yeah, that's the one. You've already completed yours.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. It's
I
good to see you, by the way. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I worked on mine this morning, but I'm not sure. I can't find it. But I worked on it this morning.
Okay, did you submit it this morning?
Yeah, I did.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that everybody has either already done it or has a copy with it now.
So other than Laura, is there anyone else I should reach out to Ellen for?
I'm sorry, so this one is a folder with different files?
Nope, it'll be an email that's just in your inbox that'll say, please DocuSign. It'll be from Ellen, and it'll just look like this, and you just click review document.
I don't think that I have it now that I look at it closely. I was told that I had everything done, but I don't remember doing that one.
So is that Skyla?
Yes.
All right.
I got an email this morning to sign up for Google email, but that was it.
Okay. Is it in your personal email, maybe?
That's what I looked at, was
Okay.
a personal one.
Yeah, we'll email Ellen for you now, and she'll get you yours. Anyone else?
No, it's not this one.
Okay, if you do notice that you don't have it, please just type in the chat box or unmute yourself and let us know. This is the document that actually is your contract to start work. So you must fill this out today in order to start your AmeriCorps position. That's why we're making sure that everyone has it. If you don't have it, we'll have Ellen send you one right now, and we'll make sure that you get it as soon as possible.
I don't have any too.
Who was?
Is it Francoise?
I found it.
You found it? Awesome.
Yeah.
Who just found it? Sorry.
Laura.
Thank you, Laura.
Elise, did you get that other person that said they didn't have it?
Yes, Skyla.
And I think one more person. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got Francoise.
Okay.
All right, the email has been sent.
Is there anyone else, or are we good to go? Okay, so I actually am going to go through this document step by step. Even if you've already completed it, I'm still going to read through it and explain it to you, because in this document are all of the rules, everything you're agreeing to, and everything you need to know for your service. So it's very important that you understand it. And please feel free to put in the chat box or unmute yourself if you have any questions. Not understanding the rules and what's in this document is actually one of the #1 reasons why AmeriCorps members do not successfully complete their terms. So that's why even if you've already agreed it, we still want to go through it with you just to make sure that you understand what you're agreeing to. So at the start of your document is going to be your position description. It should have your name. Please make sure it's spelled right. If it's not spelled right, let us know in the chat box. And then it will have your start date, which is today. That's your first day of service. And then your end date. That's your last day of work, your last day of service. Make sure you write that date down and you remember it, because you're going to be continuing to serve until that day in order to successfully complete your term. And how long your term is going to be. You'll have your service location. Your service location is the place where you are going to be spending almost all of your time as an AmeriCorps member. So this is the organization that you are going to be working with and serving clients with. And then it's going to have your living allowance amount. So that is the total amount you are going to be paid throughout your start date to your end date. You're going to get bi-weekly paychecks deposited into your account that will total this amount by the end of your service. The next part of your position description is your description of your service schedule. So this is going to tell you first around how many hours a week you need to get. Now this is another area that's really important that we see a lot of RISE members, if they're not successful, this is one of the main reasons why, and it's because they're not serving enough hours per week. So if your position description says 40 hours a week, that means that you should be planning to work 40 hours every week and not falling below that. You're either going to have 40 hours if you're full-time, 20 hours if you're part-time, and 10 hours if you're quarter-time. And it also has around when you can expect to work those hours. Your exact schedule you will set with your host site and your site supervisor. So just know that you'll talk to them about your exact work schedule, but no matter what, make sure you're getting that minimum number of hours done. Then if you scroll down on your position description, it talks about the different activities that you can expect to be doing during your term. This is different for everyone, so I'm not going to go through it, but your site supervisor is going to give you orientation and training and continue to support you throughout all of these activities and help you with them. But if you read through this, it'll give you an idea of what sorts of things you will be working on as an AmeriCorps member. Then your qualifications that you all met to start the program. And then I'll have your living allowance again, and then your education award. Your education award, that is the amount that you will receive when you successfully complete your term. So that's one of the reasons why we are talking so much about during orientation about successfully completing your term, is because the only way you will receive that education award amount is if you do successfully finish the term. So I'm going to spend like the next 30 minutes to an hour talking about all the things that you need to do to make sure that you get your full living allowance amount and your education award. So if you scroll down, it'll have your term of service. This will tell you what type of position you have, if you're full-time or half-time or quarter-time. It will have the minimum number of hours required and your term of service length. So as RISE members, there's two things that you need to do in order to be successful in your term. The first thing you need to do is serve your minimum number of hours. So for example, if you're a full-time member, you need to serve at least 1,700 hours between your start date and your end date. So we've done the math for you, and we know that that works out to being around 40 hours a week. So AmeriCorps, it's not like a job where you clock in and clock out at a certain time and that you get paid based on that. You're going to get paid the exact same amount every 2 weeks, no matter how many hours you work. But you have to continue to work that minimum number, at least 40 hours, 20 hours, or 10 hours a week, in order to get the total number of minimum hours required to successfully complete your term to get your education award. So that's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is serve your complete term from your start date to your end date. So for example, even if you finish your hours a month early, you still need to continue to serve until that end date, which will be right above here. That last date of service, you have to continue to serve till that day in order to get your education award. I highly recommend that you all serve more than the minimum number of hours, because all AmeriCorps members, all the hours you work, they are checked to make sure that they were compliant, served in the right days, in the right way. And sometimes some hours may be removed because they don't meet those expectations. So by making sure that you serve more than the minimum, you're protecting yourself. You give yourself some extra room to make sure that it's going to be okay. But just remember that you have to continue to serve until your end date in order to successfully complete. So those are the two most important things: the minimum number of hours and serving till the end of your service. Okay, the next section, this talks about your benefits. So that is your living allowance. This lets you know before taxes, so yours is going to most likely be a little bit less than that depending on what you claimed for taxes, but what you can expect to be paid into your, deposited into your account every 2 weeks. And then if you are a full-time member, you will qualify for health insurance. So this is full-time members only, 1,700 hours. If you're full-time, we can help you with health insurance. And also there's a child care allowance to help cover child care costs. So if you're a full-time member, this is something your member support coordinator and Ellen will help you with, is completing the health insurance paperwork and information. Unfortunately, health insurance is not available to part-time or quarter-time members. And then the last benefit is that education award. Now your education award, there are some rules about what it can be used for. It can be used to pay for future school at a university or college. It can also be used to pay off federal student loan debt. So if you've already gone to school and you have federal student loan debt, you can also use your education award to pay off that debt. So you have two options there. Another benefit that AmeriCorps members have is called loan forbearance. So that means that if you've already been in school, you have federal loans, while you are an AmeriCorps member, we can do some paperwork. It does not happen automatically. You have to talk to your member support coordinator or talk to me, and we have to help you do paperwork, but you can have your student loans put into something that's called forbearance, which means that you do not have to make payments on them during your service. And when you successfully complete your service, all of the interest that happened during that time will be paid off. So already, because of COVID, there are no student loan payments happening on federal student loans until January. But after that, we expect payments to resume. So just know that if you have federal student loan debt, please talk to us so we can help you do that paperwork to help you not have to make that payment and not have to have that interest while you're an AmeriCorps member. And then also remember that you have to complete the minimum number of hours, the term length, and then you'll receive your education award within 30 days of completing your AmeriCorps service. And let me know in the chat box if you have any questions about education awards. It's one of the biggest benefits that AmeriCorps members get, so we want to make sure that you all do receive it and know how to use it. Okay, this next list is the prohibited activities list. So these are things that you absolutely cannot do. They are rules that are set by the federal government. This is a federal service program. And if these are broken, they can be a reason for you not being able to continue your service and successfully complete your term. Now, something that's really important that I want to make sure you all understand is that these activities, as long as they're legal, you are free to do in your own time. So as a private person, when you're not at your host site, when you're not working and counting hours towards your timesheets, you can do these activities. You just cannot do this activity when you are working at your host site. Don't do these activities whenever you are counting hours towards your timesheets, or whenever we're going to give you all AmeriCorps t-shirts and buttons and different gear. Don't do these things while you're wearing those things. So just remember, you can do these things on your own time. You cannot do these things while you are serving at your host site counting hours. Now, the prohibited activities can really go into 3 categories. The first category is you cannot be participating in politics. So for example, you should not be trying to influence, lobby, or be impacting any kind of laws that are being created. So legislation with Congress, basically you just can't be helping to create new laws or telling different people that are elected in elected positions, telling them what they should do and the type of laws that you would like to see. You cannot help people register to vote while you're an AmeriCorps member or tell them who to vote. So you should not be advocating for any political parties. So as an AmeriCorps member, you should not be going to any political events, and you should not be advocating for any political parties. So this is really important because it's an election year right now. Your host site can do this. Other people that are staff members can do this, but AmeriCorps members cannot. So just remember that as an AmeriCorps member, you cannot do anything with politics while you are counting hours and serving at your host site. That's the first area. The second area is you cannot be participating in any religious activities. So you should not be telling people what to believe in. You should not be teaching any faith classes or proselytizing, telling people about a different religion. You shouldn't have anything to do with religious instruction. So a lot of our host sites are religious institutions. Like you saw in that video, churches, faith organizations, they can be host sites, but AmeriCorps members cannot participate in their faith activities. So like you shouldn't be leading any studies or prayers. You can do those things as a personal person, as yourself during your own time, but not with clients and not while you're serving at your job. So just don't participate in any religious instruction or conducting worship services while you are working at your host site. Then the third area is you cannot provide or give referrals or information about abortion. So those are the three areas. So no politics, no religion, and no giving any information, referral, or conducting any abortions. As long as you avoid those three areas, you will all be completely fine. But just know that you as an AmeriCorps member are responsible for making sure that you do not do these things. We've talked to your supervisor, we've talked to your organization that you're serving with, they know these rules too, but you also need to make sure that you are following them because we don't want you to not successfully complete your term. The last prohibited activity area is fundraising. You should not be doing any sort of grant writing or fundraising for your organization. So no grant writing, no fundraising. There are some situations where we can get you approval if you need to get donations or materials for a certain project that you are leading as an AmeriCorps member. So if you are in a situation where you are needing to get donations, you can talk to your member support coordinator and we'll work on helping you to get approval. But just know that you cannot do any fundraising without any approval. So those are the prohibited activities. The next area are the rules of conduct. So this is just in general how we expect our AmeriCorps members to act while they're serving. We want you to follow all the rules of your host site. We want you to be professional and follow directions. You should not ever just miss work or be late to work without talking to your site supervisor and getting approval. We understand that sometimes emergencies happen. We understand that sometimes you're sick or even sometimes that you want to take vacations. That's all completely okay, but you need to communicate with your host site so they know where you're at because they're going to be depending on you. If your site supervisor notices that there are some challenges with you not following the rules or meeting expectations, there are steps that we will take. There's a formal process of them. First, they'll give you a verbal warning. Second, there will be a written plan to help correct what's going on. And third, if the action continues, you could be terminated or have your service end early unsuccessfully, so you wouldn't get your education award. Unless it's a situation involving immediate harm to yourself or others or an arrest, then that process may be quicker on a case-by-case basis. One other really important thing is you need to notify your member support coordinator and site supervisor right away if you are arrested or face a conviction for a crime. This does not necessarily mean that your AmeriCorps term is over. Your AmeriCorps term will be over if this happens and you don't notify us about it, we don't know what happened and we find out some other way. But if you tell us, we'll work with you on a case-by-case basis, and as AmeriCorps allows us, we'll try to help you stay and continue and be successful with your term if you can. but you just have to tell us right away if it happens. This next policy is the non-duplication and non-displacement policy. What this means is you as an AmeriCorps member, while you're in your term of service, you cannot replace a staff member at your host site. So for example, if a staff member goes on a maternity leave, you should not start doing their job. Your organization needs to find a different staff member or someone else to cover it. AmeriCorps members need to be doing new or different work than staff members. Okay, so this part of the contract talks about how you may end your service early. We hope that this doesn't happen to any of you. It's very rare, but we always have a couple people every year that have to end their service before their end date. There are two ways that you are able to end your AmeriCorps service early. The first way is for cause. So for cause may mean that you start your job and you don't think it's a good fit for you and you quit. Or you possibly have to leave your host site and are let go or fired because you were not following the rules of conduct or break the prohibited activities. So that's for cause. If you are exited for cause, that means you do not get your education award. The second reason is for compelling personal circumstances. So compelling personal circumstances, that means that something happens that's beyond your control that causes you to have to end your AmeriCorps service early. Some common examples are if you get sick, if your family member gets sick, if there's a death of a family member. COVID is a really, right now, reason that some people have to exit for compelling personal circumstances because of COVID. Now, if you have to move for a new job or if you start school, that's for cause. Compelling personal circumstances, it really means it's outside of your control. Military orders, sickness, or a death in the family are really the only three areas that will cause someone to have to get the compelling personal circumstance exit. If you are exited for compelling personal circumstances, you will get an education award that matches up with the number of hours that you served. So you won't get the full amount, but you will get the same, you'll get the amount that matches up with the percent of hours you've already worked. So you'll still get some of it. So just know that, especially with COVID right now, there's a lot of different reasons and things that may happen that cause you to have to pause your term or end your term early, and know that we have a lot of ways of supporting and helping you. One thing that I ask is that you just tell us as soon as you know that you may have to leave AmeriCorps. If there's something going on in your life, please let us know right away. Even if it's you're having financial challenges, wanting to go back to school, if you're moving, if you're sick, a family member's sick, the sooner you let us know, the more likely we are going to be able to help you in that situation. Okay, this next section is your informed consent. We need to be able to take photographs and videos of AmeriCorps members while they're serving. Your host site may need to, just while you're working with clients or doing activities there. So this is that photo release form. This next section is our civil rights and non-harassment policy. We take this incredibly seriously. None of our RISE members, we want all of our RISE members to be in a safe working environment. We will never tolerate any sort of racism, any sort of discrimination at a host site, with clients. Just know that we will believe you and we're here for you and we will support you through the process if anything happens. I'm going to give you all some contact information of some confidential sources that you could reach out to if anything were to happen at your host site and you don't feel comfortable talking to your site supervisor or comfortable talking with your member support coordinator or me. I'm going to give you some outside phone numbers that you can contact with as well. But just know that we will always support you and help you through these situations, and we do take it very seriously, and we want you to have the best and safest year of service with us. Okay, and then this form talks about the different attachments that I'm going to go through. And then you can go ahead and do the authorization. This is your member signature, so you'll click here. It'll let you put in a signature and initial. You'll click adopt and sign, and it'll put your name in there for you. Give everyone a second to do that. Okay. So now we're moving to the attachments of the document. The first attachment is the grievance policy and procedures. Hopefully you will never have to use this, but this is just for your reference. You're all going to get a copy of this document, so you have it. There is a formal procedure. If something happens with the program that you don't agree with, you have a way to appeal that decision. This is not for small disagreements or conflicts at your host site and things that can just be resolved either with the program or with your host site. These are with big challenges, and it's a formal process. So the most common reason why people might use a grievance policy is if they are asked to do things that they don't think are in their MSA and that's not resolved and fixed. The second reason is because they are exited a certain way that they don't agree with. So maybe you're exited early and you don't think you should have been exited early. Maybe you're exited for cause, but you think that you actually should have been exited for compelling personal circumstances. Those are the typical reasons why someone might use these procedures. But basically, if you do want to submit a grievance, there is a short form that you'll fill out here with your name, information about where you live and your host site, and then the events, the reasons why you're filing this, and then the how it violated the MSA or does it match up, and what you want to happen. You'll submit that form, and first the host site and the RISE program will try to resolve that for you. If that doesn't work, an outside person will be brought in to try to come to agreement. And then if that doesn't work, there'll be a more formal hearing with more outside individuals, and then a final decision made by an outside entity deciding what the resolution or next steps will be. So just hang on to this form in case you ever need to file this. The next policy is our drug-free workplace policy. AmeriCorps has a zero tolerance for use of illegal substances. As an AmeriCorps member, you agree for your term of service to not use any illegal substances. This is the attachment with that non-discrimination policy that I talked about. And here are two contacts that you can reach out to confidentially. Nobody will know that it was you unless you ask them to share. The first one is Adam. He works with Volunteer Iowa. His phone number is here, as well as his email. It's a very kind person that you can reach out to and give a call, and he'll help support you with the process and helping you get whatever relief it is that you need from that situation. The other contact is in DC, so someone that's even outside of the state of Iowa. And you also have their phone number and their email address. Then this next form is the reasonable accommodation form and policy. So this is if you are an individual with a disability that needs accommodations in the workplace, we'll create a plan for you in order to help support you. There is an online form that you can fill out, but you can also just talk to your member support coordinator, and we're happy to help you. It's no big deal. We're happy to help you through this. Know that this can be both for mental and physical disabilities. So if you're someone that struggles with depression, anxiety, in addition to if you have a physical disability, there's a lot of support. We want to make our program accessible for you and to make sure you have the best working environment possible. So please just let us know, and we're happy to help you with this process and help you communicate with your host site about what you need. Then after you're done with that, you can go ahead and click finish. And then you'll be able to set up an account to get an extra copy. Whew, and that is the MSA. How are you all doing? I'm gonna respond to a couple of the comments that I got in the box. If everybody can just let me know when you've submitted, we'll go ahead and move forward.
Mallory, I think there were a few questions in the chat box.
Yes. Okay, Lexi, I think I already got back to you. If you already submitted the paperwork through AmeriCorps, you should be good with your forbearance. It's the only question I'm seeing. Does anybody else have any other questions about the contract? You will have your education award for 5 years. That's a great question. Someone asked, when does the education award expire? And you have 5 years to use your education award. Any other questions?
Did they change? It used to be 7, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I lied, everyone. It's 7 years. Thanks, Masoka.
No problem.
Keeping me on my toes. Yeah, 17. It's not 17. 7 years. You have 7 years for to use your education award. So yeah, just one more time. 7 years to use your education award. Remember, you can use it for university or college classes. You can also use it to repay federal student loan debt. Any other questions before we move on? Okay, I had someone ask, they've been an AmeriCorps member before, and they've received one education award already. The education award that you receive at the end of this term will be in addition to that. So you can get, as an AmeriCorps member, you can serve 2 full-time terms. You can serve 2 terms full-time, so you can get 2 full education awards in your lifetime. So if you've already served 1 year, this is your 2nd year, and you'll have both of those award amounts to spend.
So, if how many times can you serve as a part-timer member? Half-time?
I'm not completely sure. I would have to double check on that, Masoka.
Mallory, I can answer that if you'd like.
Go for it.
So it doesn't matter what length of time you're serving. You can only serve 4 terms. So that could be 4 part-time terms. That could be, I don't know why you would do this, but 4 full-time terms. 2 quarter, 1 part, 1 full, but you can only serve 4 terms. So 4 times.
So can you serve 4 terms as a full-timer or 4 terms as part-timer?
From my understanding, that's a yes, but you can only get 2 education awards, or 2 education awards that are equivalent to 2 years.
Oh, okay. So that means if you want to get the education award, if you serve part-timer 4 times, you still can get those. But once you exceed that, you won't be able to get them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so if you serve 2 full-time terms, you can still continue to serve, but you would only get the living allowance and not the education allowance.
Ah, okay, I didn't understand. All right. Thank you. That helps.
We got one other question that asks if the education award can be used for a master's program. It absolutely can. We got another question that asks if an education award can be used for technology like laptops while you're going to school. So for that, it's a little difficult. Like, you cannot just take your education award when you're not in school and go buy a laptop or computer. But if you are in school and taking classes, you can have your education award sent to your school and they can pay it out to you if you already have all your tuition covered. So for example, if I'm a student at the University of Iowa, I've already paid off all my tuition for the semester. I really want to purchase a laptop. I will have AmeriCorps send my education award to the University of Iowa. The University of Iowa will give me a check, and then I'll use that check to purchase a laptop or textbooks for school. So you are able to do that, but it just has to be through a school. We got a question about Skyla. That is a unique question. I'm not sure. We'll have to check on that certification. Is that something you're hoping to do for substitute teaching? Skyla, you're muted if you're talking, but can our member, Skyla's member support coordinator, can you please take note of that question so we can follow up on it later?
Thank you.
And just a reminder, your education award you will not get until the end of your service. So after this year, you are still going to get your living allowance every 2 weeks, but not that full amount until the end. Now, if there are training opportunities that you are interested in during your term, you can let us know that. We do have some funding to support different certification programs, trainings, and conferences for members. So if you see a professional development opportunity that you're interested in, please let your member support coordinator know, and we'll see what we can do if we're able to cover the costs of that opportunity for you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is any way can you use education award for other members at home?
Unfortunately,
like my daughter.
no, you have to be, that's only for elderly individuals.
Mhm.
For seniors, can they give their education award to their children or grandchildren?
Mhm. Okay.
Unfortunately, so your award will be for you.
Okay.
It's a great question. Any other questions before we move on?
I had another question for if you apply like some government benefit, like health insurance, they ask income, they ask something like that. But if we are like a volunteer, even if we have some income, but it's not enough income to support the family. So is there any way we can have anything to show them we volunteer?
Yes, absolutely. So and I really hope all of you hear this. Your living allowance does not count as income for almost all benefit programs. Your member support coordinator, if you tell them that you are applying for, like, for example, food stamps or Medicaid, we have a waiver, a letter from us that you can give to your caseworker when you apply that will explain that you are a volunteer, you're getting a living stipend, and that it, under the law, does not count as income.
Okay.
So almost all of you probably would qualify for benefits.
Here, and then mine
Let me
sorry.
It's okay. Almost all of you, it just depends on your household income. But if you're single or if you have children, it's very likely that you will qualify for benefits, and you really should apply for them. As AmeriCorps members, you're not making very much money. Take advantage of these benefit programs. I consider them to be part of your income. You know, getting food stamps, getting Medicaid. So please let your member support coordinators know that, and we can help you with the application process.
Okay, thank you.
I just saw Lise is having to step off the call early, but she did put a good note. So all of you are going to be invited. We have bi-weekly member training calls on Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. These are times where you're going to meet with your program staff, with your member support coordinator. We're going to go over different training opportunities, ongoing rules, helping you all stay on track. So they're very important. Please put that on your calendar and make sure to come to those calls.
What happens if we have a conflict, like we have class during that time?
I will ask if you can just let your member support coordinator know, and they can definitely record the sessions, like if it's an important training or something for you. I would say class is about the only good excuse to miss that call. We really need you all there unless you do have a class commitment.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Is the member call, like when you're on Thursday, is that gonna be added to our hours too?
Yeah, that counts for your hours. That's training hours. And it'll be over.
So that means, let's say if we.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. No, like I wanted to ask, like me and Panita, if we say, let's say we are 2, right? Or did you guys change? Is it at 2 o'clock?
It's at 2 o'clock, 2 to 3 p.m.
Okay. So since it's all, like you said, call, if we can come here and we want to go home, and we can do that every Thursday, like leave at before 2, so that we can get ready for the member call.
You'll have to ask your site supervisor if that's okay with them. And it's every other week. So it will be this Thursday, and then we'll skip a week, and it'll be the next Thursday. So
all right.
If your site supervisor is okay, I'm fine with you logging on from home, but just check with them. Yes. It's every other Thursday from 2 to 3 p.m. Okay. I'm gonna go back to our PowerPoint and just go over our last couple of things with our few remaining minutes. So one thing is, I want you all to be ready and know that your education awards are considered taxable income. when you use them. So you don't have to pay taxes on them until you go to use them. You do not have to pay Iowa taxes, but you will have to pay federal taxes. So just remember that, be ready for that, have some money saved if you use it all at once. Just know that there will be taxes that you'll have to pay on your education award, only federal taxes. A quick just clarification for all of you. I know we've used a lot of different terms and there's a lot of organizations involved with AmeriCorps. And I just wanted to explain that to you real quick on who is who. So Embark is the organization that started Refugee Rise. So if you think of like an umbrella, Embark is the umbrella. And then Refugee Rise is right under the umbrella. The Refugee Rise is a program of Embark. So everyone that works for Refugee Rise, all your member support coordinators, myself, Zach, we are all employees of Embark, and this is a program that we work on. And you all are AmeriCorps members that are part of this program, but you all work at different organizations. So Refugee Rise members, you have host sites, which that's the most important thing that you know is your host site. That is the place that you are going to be working for each day, where you go to serve. Your site supervisor, that person, they work for your host site. And then if you are in Cedar Rapids, you have one additional organization, IEDA, a person named Sasha, who supports disaster relief members. So it's only a couple of you if you're in Cedar Rapids. You may also hear from Sasha and IEDA. She just helps if you're doing disaster relief work. But in general, just each day you're gonna work with your site supervisor at your host site. You're also going to have some support from the Refugee Rise program and your member support coordinator. And just the umbrella above it all is Embark. So just so you know kind of those different entities, who they are and what we do. You all are going to have a lot more trainings to follow up with online. I'm going to send you all this week in your email. You're going to get a login to something called Canvas. It is an online learning platform. I'm going to show you real quick what that looks like. So you're ready. You're going to get an email to make an account. And you're also going to get a YouTube video to watch that will show you how to use Canvas. And we're going to talk about it more on Thursday's meeting. Normally, orientation would be at least 1, if not 2 days. But because of COVID, we switched everything to being online, a shorter video call like this, and then we have some online trainings that you will all need to complete. Your Canvas will look like this. You'll have a login. You'll create an email and password, and then it'll open up to a class where you'll be able to just click on these different links to read the different texts. You scroll down, and if you click next, there will be different activities, discussion boards that you can click on to participate in. And there'll also be videos for you. So this is for the site supervisors. Yours will be, say, members. I just wanted to show you all what the platform looked like. And then you can always click home. So you're going to have different modules on timesheets and reporting and different expectations and training to help you be successful at your job. So when we talk about Canvas, that's what we're talking about. It's just our online learning class and training for you. So just remember, you're going to get an email to set up an account, and you're going to get a YouTube video to watch that will show you how to use it with more instructions. And we're going to talk about it more on Thursday. Your trainings, one of the most important things is you're going to learn about completing timesheets on Encore. Members have to complete timesheets every 2 weeks. So Monday at 6 p.m. in 2 weeks, your first timesheet will be due on Encore. You're going to do an online training this week that will teach you how to complete that, but just remember that you'll complete them every 2 weeks online. You'll watch the training video, and that RISE members should not have hours on Sundays, and you should not be working more than 10 hours a day. As a RISE member, you're also going to be expected to complete some data tracking and work with your supervisor to share information about the work you're doing at your host site. We're going to train you on that spreadsheet and talk a lot more about this on the training videos online and also during our member support call on Thursday. So I just wanted to introduce you and let you know that you're going to be learning more about timesheets and reporting this week, and those are going to be 2 important things for you. And the last thing we have is your next steps. So the first most important thing that you should have already done today is meet with your site supervisor and start working. So you should meet your site supervisor, know who they are, set your schedule, and you should start orientation and training with them. This week, you're going to get an email from me with to set up your Canvas account and start doing the training videos, the orientation trainings. And they will have due dates. You'll know when you'll need to get those done by. Keep doing trainings with your host site. This week, you should just be doing a lot of learning, getting a lot of information so you're ready to work with the community. And then remember that you have the bi-weekly member support calls. We have one this Thursday at 2 p.m. So that's when we'll see you all next. And that is all I have for today. Yes, we will send an email reminder about the Thursday call. I'm going to add you all to that after this call. Are there any other questions? Okay, and the last thing is we actually want to get a group photo. We always would do photos in person during orientation. Unfortunately, we're online, but I would love it if everyone can turn back on their videos and smile. I'm going to take a photo, and this will kind of be our team photo. So trying to make my screen as big as I can. All right. Oh, I'm missing some people. Eshi, where are you? I can't see you. And then is it Benjamin? You don't want to be the only person that doesn't have video. Turn it on quick. Awesome. Okay, everybody smile. Okay, I think I got it. Thank you all so much. It was nice to meet you, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Với mà blue Willy and Benelli mà blue. Willy. Bye bye. Tạm biệt rồi. Chưa lại khi nào.
Hey, Mallory.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. I mean, I wrote down the things about that Skylar said.
Hi, Winton.
Yeah, so if I could
Almost done here. Can I call you back?
contact me at a different time, I can do that and ask you about that.
Yeah, so could you actually just type that in an email and send it to me, and I'm gonna just forward it to Volunteer Iowa.
Okay, sounds good. She also sent me a couple more private questions that I'll get to you as well, because she won't be able to make the meetings for work. That's what she said.
Oh, that sucks.
So I told her I was gonna bring it up to you, because she works from 2 to 10 every day, or something like that.
I mean, I think that's like you guys. Oh, wait, I should stop this recording. 1 second.